I want to make a circle with this decorative wire, so I'm just kind of rolling it out, and the little prongs that are sticking up, I want to make sure I have 10 of those, and that'll come into play later on. So I'm just cutting it with my wire cutters and getting it where I want it to be. Now I'm just looking at where I have excess wire that needs to be cut off. So I want to cut these little pieces that I have that are extra. This wire was very rolly, so it was a little bit difficult to deal with, but once I got the hang of it, it didn't take as long. And now I want to attach my piece together to make a perfect circle. I'm just going to use a little twist tie for now just to help keep it together while I add the extra wire on. So I'm not sure what gauge wire this is. It's just something I had around my house. So your thinner wire will be easier to work with. This was a little bit thicker. So I have my needle nose pliers on the side, and it definitely helped me to get the wire in the position that I need. And I'm just gonna go on each piece where it comes together and just wrap the wire around. And that'll keep these two sides from coming apart. And then I'm going to do the same thing just randomly on the rest of the piece. That way it kind of ties in where you don't just have the wire pieces on one side. It's just kind of throughout the whole piece. And you'll see in the end, it really looks extra good where they have these little ties of wire. Now that we have our circle all put together, we're going to work on those top pieces. I'm just taking my needle nose pliers and grabbing the very top of the wire and just twisting it over, and then I'm clamping it down to make a little loop. So you're going to do this to all of your little pieces sticking up. And like I said, just make sure you have an even number. I decided to do 10 on this piece. Now you're going to cut a longer piece of wire and put it through all the little loops you just made, creating a circle around the top of this piece. And then where your two wires meet, you're just going to tie it up just like you did all the other little wires. Next, you want to cut 5 pieces of wire approximately the same size. We are going to take those pieces of wire and thread them through our loops from one side to the opposite side. So you want to do that. That's why you have 5. So you're going to put 1 piece of wire through 2 hoops that are on the opposite side of each other. Y'all understand what I'm saying? And then I'm going to take that twist tie again and just tie the middle together just to keep it in place while I do this next step. We're going to go back and permanently secure it with a wire at the end, but just for this step, so everything's still movable, I just want to use a twist tie. Now I'm going to start going around the circle and just take that extra wire that's hanging out and just wrap it around to secure it in place. I am not going for perfection here. The wire that I bought from the thrift store is kind of wavy, so I'm okay if the wire I am adding to it is also a little wavy. I want it to have this very handmade look. So even when I'm creating these little knots to keep the wire in place, like I'm okay if it doesn't look perfect. We are definitely going for a handmade look on this one, and I can't wait for y'all to see the final product. This one turns out so good. Just don't forget at the end to replace the twist tie with a permanent piece of your wire. If you haven't figured it out yet, we are making an adorable little wire cloche. So now my wire from the thrift store was green. My new wire was silver. Now we got to bring this piece all together. I'm using Rust-Oleum spray paint in the color black, and I'm going to cover up all this wire so it is all the same color. After the spray paint has dried, I want to give it a rusty look. So to achieve this effect, I'm going to be using Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, and I'm just going to kind of glob it on in different places, and then I'm going to go back and sprinkle cinnamon on it. And this creates a really amazing, authentic looking rust effect. So you can add, you can take away, even after you add the cinnamon on, if it's a little bit too rusty for you, then you can go back with a little bit of black. It's just whatever you want. And I kind of like to layer it on there, like do a few layers of this, because the more texture it has, the more authentic it looks. So it just depends what look you are going for. For me, the rustier, the crustier, the better. And I actually ended up having enough wire to make 4 of these cloches. So I did 2 big ones that I had 10 prongs sticking up. And then I did 2 smaller ones with 8 prongs sticking up. And let me know what y'all think about this project. I just feel like the video just doesn't do it justice. These look so cute in person. I absolutely love them. Once the paint is dry, I'm going to seal them with a few coats of clear sealer.